and you were at 18?
Yes.
Okay. Going to you, you're 35, better looking in 10 years' time?
No.
And then you're 35, but were you better looking at 25, 10 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. You're 30, better looking in 10 years' time at 40?
No.
And then you're 30, were you better looking at 20 than you are now at 30?
Same. Was the same.
Same?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're equal to how you looked at 20?
Yes.
Okay. Discord, if you guys can do the age advancement on everybody.
Oh my gosh.
And so you said 75, you said
I'm going
69, I think. You that's when you're going to be the most babe status.
Wait, no, that's not what I said.
Or 59, I don't know. I went through each one and you're like, yes, more attractive at 59.
It stopped at 60 and then
Oh, okay, sorry.
at 70.
59 is when you're going to peak, I guess.
No, that's not. No, I would peak at 29.
Okay, but
I'd still look
you'll
better
be better
than now at 59.
Wait, hold on. So just to be clear, okay, you'll be more attractive at 59
than I am right now.
Because of the nose job.
Yeah. Yes.
Then you will now
and I'll
at
be
19.
skinnier. And I'll be skinnier.
Big feelings about your nose.
Oh no. Okay. That's crazy.
Why do you disagree?
Have you heard of this thing called aging? You know that aging thing?
Well, I'm Asian, so.
I mean,
don't think I
you're
really age.
Asian, but you know.
My mom looks great at like 40.
She's single?
44. No.
Okay, just.
I'm a spitting image of my mother. I know exactly what I'm going to look like in 19 years, and I don't need AI to show me.
Keep an eye on the Discord so we can get the age advancement pulled up. While we're... Oh, do we have it? Let's do it really quick. Let's do it. All right, we're going to... Really quick, though, before we do that, Lowell Paladins had the chat. My ex used to take dozens to hundreds of selfies a week. I used to take about 2 to 3 selfies per year. These women spent too much time on Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok with filters distorting reality. That's Lowell Paladins. Hey, man, thank you so much for the message. Yeah, there's a lot of filters being used. There's all like Lensa, all those like the AIs getting into the picture now. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, let's pull up the Discord old. All right, next.
You look cute.
She's so cute.
That's before the facelift.
Damn.
Oh, whoa.
Damn,
You'll be
son.
cute.
Oh wow.
She looks like a white
Where'd you
woman.
find
She looks
that?
like a white woman.
Yeah,
She looks like a white
you became white. That's crazy.
Oh.
I think it's the contacts.
Asian don't raisin unless okay. Oh shit.
Why does it look like a special
Oh,
effects
she doesn't
thing?
like that one. Okay, next.
Oh my god.
Okay, next.
Okay.
Damn.
You don't look bad.
Also,
Yeah,
white,
that's fine.
kind of white. Wasian. You're like Wasian here. You know?
No, I don't think so.
You look like, yeah, kind of look Native American all of a sudden. I don't know how they did. Okay, what about her? This one over here?
Oh. Hi. I look like my grandma.
That's cute.
Fine.
Yeah. All right, next.
Oh.
Wait, did they?
That's normal.
Was it? Okay, next.
Whoa.
That's normal.
I feel like they didn't really change the
Exactly.
much.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a little bit.
So is it better?
I think
good? I don't know.
I think that's it, right?
Maybe I look already 60.
Oh, of course. Thank you. That was it. That was it. Oh. Shit. Shit. All right. That's.
Father Time is not going to be kind to me.
Yeah, it's, you know. I really quick, just kind of like going back on the topic. Somebody sent me an interesting message here. I'm just going to read it really quick. This is to you. Hold on. She's capping hard Asian parent. This is from a Vietnamese woman. I know you're Chinese, but whatever. She's capping hard. Asian parents are strict AF. My dad would beat the shit out of me and kick me out of the house. I don't know. About the whole porn sex
Well,
worker thing.
I'm Chinese. There's a difference. Different cultures, right?
Aren't the Chinese like more
What would you
strict
say
than
is the stereotypical difference between Vietnamese and Chinese culture?
I guess there isn't much of a stereotypical like difference, but once again, it's really just how your parents are. It doesn't like your parents could be less strict on you, or your parents could be more strict on you. Your parents could be like they could eventually come to terms with what you do, and some parents won't. It just depends on your parents.
Yeah, I think that girl is it a girl that messaged you?
Yeah.
I think she's like assuming too much.
Oh.
Because there's always exceptions to the rule. I think my parents are Asian, but they're not that traditional.
They'd be fine with you doing that?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
But compared to other Asian parents.
Before we get into the next topic, why don't we pull up Twitch really quick? Guys, you got to go to twitch.tv/whatever. Also, if you're enjoying the stream, like the video, please. Like the video, and then... no, you're fine. Sorry, that was my bad. Go ahead. No, you can... It's good. Yeah, that was my bad. Yo, guys... Drop a follow on Twitch. Drop a Prime sub. Yo, Evening Tap, thank for the Prime, man. It was bugged, but you cleared the bug. Wicked Dreamer, thank for the Prime. Abba Zabba, thank for the Prime. C Walker, thank for the Prime. Guys, can you get us to 93,500 followers? You see at the top there, we're at 93,376. Get us to 93,500. Guys, we're trying to get to 100,000 followers before the end of the year. I don't know, it might be tough. So maybe try to drop us a follow, guys. And really appreciate it. You mad, bro, haha. Thank you for the follow. No Mercy, thank you for the follow. Used to be a saint, thank you for the follow. Vose, thank you for the follow. No Spro, thank you for the Prime. Navy Dad, 90s vibes, thank you for the gifted. Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys. And also like the video if you guys are enjoying the stream. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you. All right, let's get into some more of the pre-show notes. I do actually want to ask this because you brought up toxic masculinity. What is that?
I would like to describe it this way. I'm a very strong believer in the fact that men and women, they really need each other, that we need to harmonize the overall relationship between each other as genders. As to the toxic masculinity or femininity, I believe that both of the terms are about this or that gender trying to bring another one down in this or that way. In short, I would just describe it this way.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to go around the table on this.
Wait. Brian, I'm sorry. I have to interject just very brief. That literally told us nothing. That didn't tell us anything about what toxic masculinity is. You just said that you're a complementarian and you think that men and women need to complement each other. That does not tell us what toxic masculinity is, though.
Did you hear the last statement I said?
What's the last statement you said?
I said that either toxic masculinity or femininity is about one gender bringing another one down by any shape or form. Do you agree or no?
Okay, but bringing them down how?
Check the comments that were sent. This is what bringing another gender down is about for me.
I saw individuals being targeted in those comments, not genders of people. I saw individuals who were being addressed, not genders. Did you see somebody say all women or women X, or did you see individuals being addressed?
Individuals were being addressed, but would those people address those individuals the same way if they were male, for example?
Well,
they
so
were
now
doing
that's
the
an assumption,
OnlyFans.
right?
Huh?
So that would be toxic femininity, wouldn't it? Because the example there is that you're bringing down the entirety of men who are making those comments, and by literally making the false assumption that they're only doing that because you're women and not because they're addressing you, the woman, specifically what you said. Wouldn't you be engaging in toxic femininity by your own standard because you're judging men collectively based off of commenters who addressed individuals?
That was a gesture of the toxic masculinity from a very specific individual, but I'm not generalizing and never have.
No, you are. You're saying that it's toxic masculinity, right? That they are literally talking to only individuals because you applied it to an entire gender. You said, no, I'm not going to apply it to individuals. I'm going to apply it to the entire gender. You're being toxic. So in other words, these people are engaging in toxic masculinity because they're collectively bringing women down. That's your claim. However, they only addressed individuals and not women collectively. So you would be engaging in toxic femininity by saying that, right?
All right, this is your perspective, but what exactly I meant by my statement is that specifically those comments that we saw, that were given to this lady right here on the left, that was a gesture of the toxic masculinity for me, because such words as like, oh, Chinese girl, oh, engineer baby, those motherfuckers would not say it about the men doing OnlyFans and doing engineering
Well, now you're
major.
generalizing and saying because they're women, X is happening. That would be a generalization about a gender, so therefore toxic femininity. Yes?
You definitely are reversing it in the way that resonates with you, but I don't believe that this is what I'm saying.
I mean, the way that it resonates
no.
with reality, you said if it's a generalization about a gender collectively against another, that would be toxic femininity or masculinity.
All right.
By you saying that women are being collectively assaulted, even though an individual is being addressed, that would be toxic femininity by your definition, right?
If the woman is bringing a man down, relying on his gender, this is a toxic femininity. If the man does the same thing, it's the toxic masculinity. That's
yeah,
all.
but if women are bringing down women, that would also be toxic femininity, right?
Of course,
Yeah,
undeniably.
okay, great. So then if that's the case, when you apply that a comment towards an individual is applied to all women, right, you're making a generalization about a gender, so that would be toxic femininity, right?
I don't understand at what point I used the generalization when I described the
You
action
say
of the
that-
person who
that
left the
these
comment.
people are only making the comments because they're women. Because they're women. So that person only made this comment because she's a woman. That's a generalization about women, right? You're only doing X because they're women, so that would be toxic femininity, right?
I don't see it that way. I would love to agree with you, but I don't see it this way.
I don't
no.
If it's just a generalization, a negative generalized stereotype about a gender, right? Then how is it not negative to apply what's said to an individual to an entire gender? So you're saying, he's not saying that to you, Tracy, let's say the fictitious name is Tracy. Tracy, he's not saying that to you because you suck. He's saying that to you because you're a woman. That's a generalization about a gender, therefore would be toxic femininity by your standard, right?
All right, let's put it this way. No problem.
Okay. I don't know how else to see it.
Would you agree that the same person who left that comment together with $200, that was impressive too for me personally, I don't know. Would he say something similar if there was a guy here saying just the same things?
Well, see what you're doing there? So what you're doing is you're saying collectively, right, women are X and collectively men are X, right? So men are not going to make these comments if these are men over here, they're only going to make these comments if they're women. That is you making a general negative statement about men, therefore toxic femininity.
Nope, this is not about me making a statement about all the men. No, I'm talking about a very specific individual.
Well, if you say that men are not going to make these comments if there's other men there, they're only making the comments because there's women, that's a negative stereotype about men.
Okay, now I understand what you are getting at. No,
Well, yeah,
that
it's
was
a
not the
double-edged sword.
intention.
It cuts both ways, right?
Right. I hope you can just understand that I was talking about the personalities sharing those comments, and this is not about all the men. And there is not any man who would leave that comment. You know, not anybody male would do that. So I'm not talking about all the men. I'm talking about
Well, I
one
don't understand how you
person
could say
showing that toxic masculinity by trying
That
to
doesn't make any sense.
bring
You're
her
saying
down.
you're saying that it's only because they're men that they're saying this because they're women. Yes? Because if they were not men and were women, they would not be saying that, correct?
That's not what I said. But I
Okay,
understand
so
your
I'll
point.
just ask you directly. If these men who made the comment, right, were women, do you think they would be making that comment?
They would still be able to make shitty comments, but
would
not
they?
in this
Would
manner.
they be? Would they be? Not could they? Would they?
They would be definitely, some of them at least, they would be similar to what we heard at the table when we were discussing it. There would be many, this is how I females that would say, oh yeah, I hope your daddy's gonna find out and he will be embarrassed of you, and like, oh, you're a slut. It's gonna be
Then
also
how would
ugly.
then how would that be toxic masculinity?
That would be a toxic femininity. Are you talking about women right now?
No, how would it be toxic masculinity if you said that's toxic masculinity? Because if that were men, if that was a man sitting there instead of a woman,
Yeah.
they would not be making these comments, right?
They would make something else, and depends on who it's coming from. I would definitely state, okay, this is also toxic femininity or masculinity.
I need you guys to make your final points here on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not very clear on. So to me, it just seems like any general statement which is made about any gender is toxic femininity or masculinity. So you kind of lose both ways here. Because if you're making the claim that the chatter's only saying this because they're men, that would be toxic femininity. And if you're making the claim that the chatter is saying this to them only because they're women, that would also be toxic femininity. It would be a general statement either way.
I have no problem accepting your point. It was just
Okay.
not exactly what I was saying.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm clear on what you're saying.
All right.
All right, so, okay, let's get into some of the pre-show notes here. Going to Sylvie here from, how?
Silly.
Silly?
Mm-hmm.
Why is there a V in your name?
No, I don't have a V in my name.
Isn't it in your Instagram?
No, it's silly. VP.
VV?
VP.
Is there a V?
In my last name there is.
Okay, whatever. Why is you said why is monogamy traditional life the way to go?
Yes. So, like 30, 40 years ago, it was the way to go. But now I see much more girls doing OnlyFans and like a lot of marriages, like they divorce a lot. So why should we still?
Are you
to the-
monogamous with your current 2-year relationship?
Kind of.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean, kind of?
We do what we want, but we tell each other we are honest about it.
You're honest about it. So you sleep with other men?
No, I'm really bad at it. He
What do
can
you
do what
mean?
he wants, and I can do what I want, but we just suck at it.
What do you mean you suck at it?
Yeah, I don't sleep with other men.
What's that?
I don't sleep with other men.
But you can.
Yes.
And your boyfriend can
Yes.
sleep with other women?
Yes.
Has he?
No.
Okay, you guys have been together for 2 years. Has he
Yes.
slept with any other women?
No.